Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we want to welcome you to Advice Unfiltered with Tony and Chris, the Father's Day edition. What's up, everybody? We'd like to welcome you to Advice Unfiltered with Tony Rodriguez and Christopher David. And tonight, we got the family with us. We got Tyler.
You.
We got Isaiah.
How you doing?
And we got Avery.
Hi.
We're doing Dad Edition tonight. It's all about the dads and the kids and men's mental health. So let's get this show on the road for episode 19.
All right. Welcome to episode 19. Thank you, everybody. Shout out to Ming, Shared Universe. For
What's up,
setting
Ming?
us up. Yeah.
Yeah, what's up?
All right. All right, so as you guys know, it is the Father's Day edition. So first of all, thank you to all our regulars out there. We are live on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
Yeah, we're live on all social media platforms right now.
So we're live everywhere. So as always, we're behind the scenes. Oh, interesting stat for you. So I pulled some statistics today.
On what?
Our show.
My hair. My hair. Is it real?
Is it real?
Is
You
that
got
a statistic? Is that a statistic? Because that's what's going on. No? All right.
27,000 people have jumped onto the YouTube channel in the last 30 days.
27,000 people.
That is correct.
That's a lot.
And yeah, so shout out to the episodes. And
Shout out to you guys.
You guys.
You guys. You.
And right now we're averaging about 2,200 downloads a week.
That's fucking awesome.
Not
Wow.
including the 30,000
That's good
people
shit.
that generally join us live every episode.
Yes.
So yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for checking it out.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah,
guys.
man. That's freaking awesome. That's amazing.
So the way we'll do it is really simple. There's a lot of us. So first off, I just want to go through the regular stuff. We'll do some real quick shout outs that we have to do. We'll dive into questions from the regulars, and then we have some questions for the kids here. In a really good way, what's exciting about this episode, we cover all the generations. You have the old generation right here.
Generation. Wait. Not old. Generation X.
Are we X?
I'm definitely X.
Well, I'm only a year behind you, so we're X.
We're X. We're Generation X. We are the best generation.
I'm pretty sure they're.
I don't even. All right, so let's figure this out. You're Gen Z.
Me and him are Gen Z. He's Gen Alpha. You two are Gen X.
You're Gen Alpha. I didn't even know what that is.
That
the
makes sense,
generation
though.
right after
That whole thing makes sense.
2025 to 2032 is supposed to be Gen Beta.
Gen
Oh.
Beta. I
Yeah.
would not want to be part of Gen Beta.
That's what I'm saying. This kid knows it all.
I had no clue what I was. I
Yeah,
had no
dude.
idea.
Bro, we ask him every episode. I don't even know what we are.
That was
so-
awesome. Avery's just like, and by the way, fun fact.
That's so true, though. That's
No,
so
you're
true.
spot on, bro. You're spot. I believe you 100%. 100%.
So, yeah, so great job. So the generations are here, which is awesome. So we have some
Yeah.
questions from the regulars. I have questions for the kids. Kids have questions for us. So it should be a fun episode.
Yeah,
But
this is cool, man. I'm so excited.
yeah.
Yo, this has been a great week, bro. Not that, you know what I mean? Like, freaking, I got both my
This is
boys with me.
amazing.
We've been hitting the gym. It's freaking amazing. And now we're doing a podcast together, all of us.
Yeah.
How fucking cool is that? No,
First
listen,
time I've been on the podcast.
you guys are so lucky we have such cool dads.
Yeah, I agree. I very much agree. Very much
Right?
agree.
See? High five, bro. Right on. High five. Bring it in. Bring it in. Bring
This
it
is-
in.
Out for sure.
Bring it in, cool dads. Right?
Yeah, you're all right. You know,
Quick
you're all
question.
right.
Yeah, I kind
I
of
got,
like
I
it.
got a quick question.
Yes,
Are we
sir.
live on there?
No, so that screen right there is recording us. That's gonna be what's gonna be shown on YouTube and Spotify and all this stuff. We're
So
live
we're-
on Instagram and TikTok right now.
Oh.
Yeah. But I can't show you because they'll kick me off.
Yeah.
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 It gets
So-
kind of crazy. So the funny thing is
Oh.
we're behind the scenes, so people see it and they're like, what the hell's going on with the green screens?
Yeah, no, we're not live on Spotify tonight. This is gonna be taped and put on Spotify later.
Yeah, so we put on Spotify later.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but outside that, couple things to shout out. First off, June is Men's Mental Health Month. So, as always, starting again next week, we have a lot of great questions. Last episode was awesome with all those things. Obviously, great questions from the men. We have tons more to answer for next week. So, shout out
amazing.
to yeah, it was awesome.
awesome. That's
great
really awesome.
feedback. We also have Pride Month this month, so shout out Pride Month, party it up, live it, love whoever you want.
Ooh.
That's awesome. And a reminder, I forgot, and I apologize, but also Juneteenth is this month.
Oh, yeah.
So this is
Friday.
this is a busy month. Oh, what's
Turn
that,
that
one?
one off and start that one again.
Is that one off?
No, but there's no sound. Oh, there's no video. There's sound, but there's no video.
Oh.
So I don't know if the camera's on, or maybe the thing's over the camera.
Hold up, let me double check it.
Yeah, the screen.
Before you turn it off, let me double check it because I can just go onto Instagram. It's
Maybe-
Instagram, right?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
maybe the thing's over the camera.
Hold up.
Well,
No,
it's
because
film-
it is filming.
It's filming us this way. You see how you could see
Yeah.
us?
So Scotland, how you guys doing?
Did it say people can see us?
Hold up.
What are they saying on
What did
Instagram?
they say on the comments?
Chimichanga.
Oh, it's all in Hebrew. What's up, all the people? Over there. How you doing, Israel, Palestine, all those good places. All through waving behind me. How you guys
Hello.
doing? How you doing?
Yeah.
I can't tell if it's loading, so I'll give it a second.
You can
No,
X
it's
out.
good.
It's good.
It's good. We're good.
It's good.
Oh, good.
All right, cool. All right, let's go.
Good.
And
long
lastly,
as-
before we get started, the merch store is live.
The merch store is live.
Yeah, so well, it's live, but I ordered stuff for us. So we're gonna test it first just to make sure all the stuff is the quality that we want.
Cool.
But I showed you the pictures of it, or models, or shirts. Obviously, if you guys, you guys got the Hot Mess shirts right here, which is fantastic. That's probably gonna be our best seller.
Show me your shirt, bud.
Hot Mess 1 and Hot Mess 2.
Yeah.
Sweet. So
We got the hot mess army out there.
yeah, a lot of people that's what they want.
The hot mess army. That's what we're gonna create. We're gonna create a bunch of fucking hot mess armies.
Well, it's what is Taylor Swift's art? What do they call her?
Swifties.
Swifties, and then everyone.
Yeah.
I feel like Beyonce has what the.
I don't know.
There's another
No,
one.
no,
I don't know.
The hot messers.
No, that's us.
No, that's just us.
Yeah.
That's just us. We're
That's
the
what
hot
I'm
messes.
saying.
All right.
I'm saying like hot messers, pops.
Messers? Hot messers? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll
Well,
see.
we'll figure it
We'll
out.
figure it out.
So the merch store is going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the
I
mer-
advise everyone to buy it.
see,
I
You can-
advise you. If you're wearing the podcast, you better be using the merch and wearing it.
That's perfect plug, bro.
I
We're
think-
gonna put that
yes.
right into commercials.
I think anyone who buys the merch, we talked about it. If you send in a photo with your when your purchase, I'll have Ming, and we'll probably take a minute or two every week or so and just show some people in the merch, which would be
Oh
fun.
yeah, we can put it at the end credits.
Yeah, we'll put
cool.
the end
Yeah,
credits
put
to
the
some
end credits,
people
you know what I mean?
who's got some merch on.
cool.
All right, so outside that, we might as well let's jump into
Yeah,
Father's Day episode.
Let's jump into Father's Day episode, guys.
Father's Day. Woo!
All right, how old
Right.
how old were you when you had him?
22.
Oh, so not 19. I was just looking at the 19, going, I was much older too.
Yeah, I was 22. I was 22 when I had him. I was a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Daphne from Haiti. What do you? Well, all right, it's for you guys. So we'll go
All right,
right down
all
the way, or whoever can answer first.
Yeah, all right.
What do you think your dad is still learning about being a dad? It could be big, it could be small, but from your side of things, what do you think your dad is still learning about being a dad? Interesting.
That's a great question.
You want to go first?
No.
I
by the-
don't really have an answer.
And by the
for
way,
that.
Well,
guys,
think about it. Just think about it. Take a minute to think about
and
it.
by the way, guys, we're works in progress.
Yeah.
We always say that, so you're not.
Well, that's
gonna-
one of the things. That's one of the things I think I said to Isaiah before Avery was born. You know, he was the first person I told that Avery was coming.
Yeah.
And I pulled him aside. He was 16. I pulled him aside. I was actually teaching him how to drive. If you can, I'll never forget that. I was teaching him how to drive. And tell him how I taught you how to drive. That's how I taught him how to drive.
Yeah.
Want to hear this? It's a great
It's
story.
a messed up story, right?
Yeah, listen to this. You'll love this.
He takes me to this parking lot, right?
Yeah.
And
It was a cul-de-sac.
yeah, it's a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
And he stops the car and he puts a cone up and he's like, all right. He's like, reverse around it. And I'm like, why am I going
There you go,
backwards?
there you go.
And he's like, well, you can't go forward until you go backwards. So long story short, we took the entire 8 hours of that day to drive backwards, and then he let me drive forward home.
Well, statistically,
That's insane.
when do most accidents happen?
when you're backing up.
When you're backing up.
So-
right? Anybody can drive a car forward. You know, if I teach him how to drive back and he can drive back really well, he'll drive it forwards easy.
I was waiting for you to make him drive backwards and then be like, see, I didn't back out, and now you have a brother.
That's what I should have did. That would have been so much better.
I thought that's where your
So
lesson
much
was
better.
going.
That's so much better. That's
he
fucking
just
great.
stared at me. Or
Yeah.
like,
So
Yeah.
8, so you drove backwards all day?
Yeah, all day.
backwards all day. And then when he let me drive home, he made me get on the highway. And I'll never forget it. He was like, yeah, pull off this exit and go down. And I was shitting myself. I was going down the highway. I was getting ready to get on. I was white knuckling, doing 85 on the exit ramp. And he's just looking at his phone. He's not even paying attention. I was like, all right.
I knew I could trust him. He was doing fine.
Yeah. It was
But
good.
yeah, so I told him he was the first person I told, and what I told him, you know, because I knew it'd be hard because he's had me his whole life, to me, just me and him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was just always it's always me and him. I didn't, so freaking I knew it'd be difficult because I knew that the life lessons that I learned with my oldest son would make me a better father now. You know what I mean? And I knew I would treat Avery differently, but I only treated him differently because of the fact that Isaiah taught me so much as being a father. But the biggest lesson Isaiah taught me was time. You know, I worked a lot, and before I knew it, he had his own life. Right? It's like that "Cats in the Cradle" song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I spend more time now with Avery, and I'm more patient with Avery than I was with Isaiah. You know, but I was also young. I was really young, bro. So I was just learning. I didn't really have a father figure that was like 100%. So I was learning as I was going. But I think the biggest lesson that I learned from being a father early was time. You know, time's important. Make sure you make time.
Yeah, and you talked about that with me when we were talking about the kids. So, are you going to make Avery drive backwards?
Oh, absolutely.
What?
Absolutely.
What? No.
I can't wait to teach you
I
how
don't
to
want
drive.
to drive backwards.
Well, I feel like you should take him to a cul-de-sac and make him drive
Yeah.
backwards. That's
That's
what starts the family thing. So, all right, well, you guys got to come up. What do you think your dad is still learning about being a dad? You got to come up with at least one thing between three of you.
Yeah, one
All right,
thing.
go ahead.
That your nerves and your emotions and feelings rub off on me and the rest of the family.
Yeah, well, it's it's a hard balance because you're trying to take on. Well, in our household, I have to be. I have to be the rock of which is fine. Like I'm the least emotional person in the house, but I also have to be careful of when you be emotional, and a part of that is having a good guy friend circle. So it's made it much easier living here than living before, is I have a good core of guy friends here. So when actually something goes wrong, it's easier to find people to lean on. But a lot of times when you're a single dad, so when you were growing up and I had to do the drive back and forth to Pennsylvania all the time, I just had me. It was me and an apartment, and every 2 weeks I would just wait for you to show up. And I didn't really keep a lot of friends because people didn't understand that when I had you time, I didn't care about anybody else.
Yeah.
So what's been nice now in the last 5 or 6 years, especially because you live with me now, so it's a little bit of getting used to that too. But it's nice when you have an outlet. So when you can't, let everything go in the house, you can call a buddy and be like, hey, and just and vent a little. Well, me and you do it all the time.
I did the same thing. It's one of the things Isaiah taught me, right? Because I worked and I played a lot when he was younger, when I was young, and so when I had Avery, I had him every weekend for 6 years, and I didn't go on a date, I didn't do anything. If you can it is what it is. Even now, I have him for the whole summer, and it's just it's gonna be me and him hanging, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So all right, what about your dad? Anything for you guys?
Do you want to go next or you want me to go next?
Do you want to go next?
I can go next. I'll kind of just build off of what you said. I always like to tell people about, I come from a split home as well. So my mom, my dad were split. It was great. It never felt like a split home because they were always there. But it's your parents' first time living life too. And I think that's a big thing that a lot of people need to understand is we look at our parents when we're kids and, you're Superman, Superwoman, they're perfect, but as you get older, you realize that, they're trying to figure it out all at the same time that we are. And I can at least test for my dad when I say this is that when I was my dad had me at 22. So, if I had a kid at 22, he probably wouldn't eat dinner half the day.
Wait, I got to feed this thing?
Yeah. But no, I mean, just watching him with Avery and everything else and just seeing what he's learned from when he had me and when I was his age. It's great to watch. Not only did he learn, but he's a great dad to Avery. Not that you were bad towards me by any means, but
I was a lot harder, dude. I'll admit it.
It makes me proud, though. You've taken monumental strides in life, and I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, well, that's the biggest thing, right? We just hope we don't fuck them up too bad. That's what I mean.
Well, I say all the time, my mom and my dad were 16 and 17.
Yeah,
and
your parents were freaking young,
and
bro.
I can't, and that means you'd be a dad at this age, and I can't wrap my head around
right?
that.
Isn't that crazy?
So when my wife every now and then she'll be like, my parents.
Your mom's probably watching right now. She's probably calling right now.
Oh, I know. Well, I give them credit because as much as she does, she annoys me, and I mean in a good way, right? But I still in the back of my head, I'm like, I couldn't have done that, so I give them so much credit.
Dude, man, it's a different thing. I'll never forget when Isaiah realized it. He was 23, and he called me from college, and he goes, Dad, I gotta tell you, I'm sorry for being hard on you, Because he was a little bitter at me. He was a little mad at me for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because he didn't understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Freaking, and I could have made better choices. In retrospect, I didn't think about it. I didn't really know. So he called me at 23 and he goes, I gotta tell you that I'm sorry for having some resentment towards you because I realized at this age that I couldn't do it. he goes, I'm exactly the same age you were when you had me, and no way could I be raising a kid right now. He's like, I just couldn't fathom it. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's hard.
Yeah, like I told you.
It's freaking hard, man. It's not easy, I mean, but you hope you turn them out to good kids.
All right, Avery, I got a question for you. So Melinda Smith, she writes in, Happy Father's Day, everybody. Here's a question for you guys. So Avery, you can go first. What is your favorite memory of your dad?
My favorite memory.
Ooh, I like this.
So what's your favorite memory of things you've guys done so far?
I don't really have a favorite memory. I just have a favorite hanging out with him.
Oh,
Hanging out with him is always the best.
Oh, there you go.
Love you.
There's no favorite. There's no non-favorite. It's just I love hanging out with him.
All right, well, you guys are a little older, so maybe it's easier
Love
for
you,
you,
kid.
right?
Love you, kid.
So, all right, what about you? Do you have a favorite dad memory?
Mine's a little bit more sentimental. When I was growing up, like kind of just build on what we already said. Like my dad played a lot of video games, and he used to always play God of War.
Oh, it's the best game
Yeah,
ever.
Best game ever.
Great game.
Great game.
And
Still plays
so I
it.
used to watch him. I used to sit there and watch. I used to love just watching him play. And the new ones came out. I think a new one came out in 2018, and then one came out. I don't know when the other one came out, but
About 2 years ago.
Like 2 years
I
ago.
played all the time.
Great
It's my favorite game.
Tony,
Right,
Tony's
yeah.
like my brother from
we
another
love
mother.
it.
Yeah. I beat both of them. So it was cool. I was sitting there, and I went to go pass him the remote, and he looked at me and he goes, nah, man, it's your time. I'll watch. And it was something small, but like when I was a kid, like I used to love sitting there watching him play, and like so see it kind of go full circle was cool.
By the way,
Yeah.
that was very hard too for us because I would be like, here you go.
No, I did. I let him go, bro. I let him go. I'm like, here's your turn, man. You do your thing, bro.
All right, Ty, what about you? A favorite memory you have of me?
It's hard. We got a lot of good ones, but I'll probably say at the original Avalon, Wachung, we lived there. Like learning how to ride a bike.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a cool memory.
That's
a cool memory.
We it was our first time living. I just had moved in, or my now wife. We just had moved into a place. We found our first apartment. We converted the garage into a hangout, put AstroTurf and everything in, and a cornhole. And people used to think we were weird at an apartment complex because we would open the garage, we'd put cornhole in the parking lot, and then we would play cornhole. And I still have the photo of you learning to ride a bike, and I remember Regina, my wife, she goes, how do we get him to ride a bike? Oh, you just push him. And that's
Just push him.
right. We were trying to get him to ride a bike all day. So finally I just took him and just mushed him and just pushed him as hard as I could. She's running after him, but he had momentum and the little feet just start moving. And he just off he went. But it was great. I got the photo of it. So
That's amazing.
all right.
Amazing.
Shannon from Kansas. All right, guys. She
What's up,
says
Shannon from Kansas?
all right, you guys as fathers seem to enjoy the outdoors. What is your favorite family activity to do indoors when it's cold or rainy? And if that's too hard, name a favorite trip or vacation you guys have gone on. So, Ty, what do you like to do when it rains? Because I know you. Is there anything we do when it rains?
We go as a family. We go to the gym.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, we just go gym.
Yeah, that's actually the funny thing is that's what we do.
Yeah.
Like, we all get together and we love Lifetime. We're members of Lifetime somewhere else, but I cannot tell you pictures I have of all of us working out together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
No, I love it too.
Yeah, it's great. So, what about you guys? What's your favorite activity to do with your dad, either when it's cold, raining, or indoors?
So, if we're talking about raining,
Yeah.
I will be playing video games with him.
What's your
or
favorite
we'll
video
watch a
game?
Movie. Fortnite.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kid's amazing at it.
If it's like cold out, we are like snowing, we'll go
Yeah.
outside and like play with the snow. If it's like sunset, though, we'll go down to the beach sometimes and watch the sunset,
Sunset's
which is
good.
kind of cool.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Tyler showed me how to play Fortnite one day, right? You'll appreciate this as a dad. Tyler's, the kids are great at it, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, kids are phenomenal at it.
I, being an older video game player, I'm like, I have no idea how to play, but I go, I bet you we could team up. and we could take everybody out. And he's like, "You don't know what you're doing. You can't play this game." So, so you know how Fortnite, like the circle shrinks.
Yeah.
I was the master of hiding. I hid the whole way until just 4 people were left.
Yeah.
Me and him and 2 other people. And I guess the 2 other people were famous Fortnite players. And they had wiped everybody out but me and him. And the whole time I'm like, I told you, I know what I'm doing. And as soon as I leaned out from under a rock, dude sniped me and took us out. But I literally never played Fortnite ever again because whoever their famous duo was, I was like, I knew I could play. And I was like, it's like I'm done.
Crazy.
I'll tell you, I gotta say, it's probably one of the coolest memories I have about Fortnite. Is the first time me and him won as a team. He was shaking. He was so excited. He was so freaking happy, dude.
It's awesome.
And it's funny because both of them are really good at it. And I'm definitely the old man dad, right? So they take off, they like hear gunshots, and they go running after the guy, right? And I'll like come chasing up behind them. They'll be like a position, a spot where they're right in front of the dude, taking dude down. Dude's focused on them, and I'll come up from behind the dude. I'm like, bah, bah, bah.
You're like me. I'm like strategizing.
Right. I just gotta clean up behind. I'm like, are you distracted? I got you. You know.
No,
but it's
so
fun.
my whole strategy in the game is third partying. So like, if one guy's fighting another guy, I'll just come in as the third guy and get rid of both of them.
Nice.
There you
Smart.
go. All right, what about you?
You gotta ask this guy about Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
I'm
Look
really
at-
good at Mortal Kombat.
I feel like you'd be a good Mortal Kombat finish him voice.
Yeah, I would be.
Yeah.
Finish him.
Oh my god!
Get over here.
Get over here!
Right? No, yeah. I freaking me and Isaiah tries to play me, but I tell him all the time. Listen, I've been playing Mortal Kombat since I was like 15 years old, dude. So like, you know,
That's your game.
It's my game. Bro.
Wow.
Keyword try. What happens is that he kicks my butt, and then we do the fatality at the end. So I'm just
Yeah.
there smashing
That's
buttons.
that was such a thing. I freaking, he's attacking me, and I let him attack me,
Yeah.
and I kept blocking every shot, up, down, up, down, up, down, and I kept blocking everything, and then I would jump over him, and I block the other way, and he's like, I hate you.
I hate you.
In one of the games last night, Dad perfectly anticipated Isaiah's first 2 moves, which was so surprising. It was like perfectly anticipated.
Yeah.
He blocked one, jumped over one.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, I got one for you, Isaiah. So, Christine H. She asked, what would you like to see happen for your dad in the future?
That's a really good question. To be honest with you, I would just like to see all his hard work pay off. You know, a lot of people, you guys see the stuff he posts online. You guys see the podcast, stuff like that, the videos. But, you know, no one actually really sees the behind the scenes of what you guys are doing every day. And there's a lot of hard work that goes into this. So, yeah, I would just really love for everything to work out. I know he has a lot of goals and aspirations. And, you know, I believe in him. I'm proud of him. I think it will work out, speak it into existence.
Thank you.
But, yeah, that's what I would love.
Appreciate that.
Yay.
All
Yeah,
right.
right.
Megan from South Jersey, our political.
What's up, Megan?
What's up, Megan?
Hello.
Megan says, Tyler, what is your favorite activity to do with your dad? Make it good. And also, what kind of car is he supposed to buy for you?
The car.
Like the
part.
Bentley
All right, so-
fan.
Activity to do with you?
Yeah, so what's the best thing we do together?
Go to the gym.
Go to the gym.
Go to the gym.
What kind of car are you really angling for me to buy you for your birthday?
Okay, so I've been looking for months.
Okay.
For months. I've been looking at last generation Mustangs between the years of like 2016 to 2018.
I already
They're
like
sitting
this kid.
they're sitting
Yeah, I
right
like this
under
kid.
they're sitting right under they're not actually that bad. The
No, they're great cars.
Especially the EcoBoost right now.
Yeah, no, dude, the EcoBoost is a great car, bro.
Yeah,
That's what mine is.
4-cylinder
Yeah,
turbo,
absolutely,
315 horsepower.
Yeah, it's a great car.
stock.
It's a great car to start off
I
with.
mean, there's that. There's
2-on-1.
same-ish year's Camaro, and then
I can't listen. If you would have picked something else, I'm like, he's on to something.
He's on to something.
He's on to something, bro.
I've been
totally,
looking.
totally believe in this. Absolutely.
All right, so Mustang.
Mustang. I mean, same kind of year Camaro or a decommissioned police charger.
How about all right?
Decommissioned police charger.
They're all around the same price.
Okay. Isaiah, for you, as you're navigating the waters of being an adult now, your question's a little deeper. What has been the most valuable lesson you learned from your dad, and how is it influencing your life as you get older?
Wow, that's really good.
That's a good question.
Suck it up.
I agree.
Hey, that might not be bad advice sometimes.
Suck it up. Suck it
No,
up.
you know, he's instilled a lot of different lessons in me, but I guess to build off, not necessarily suck it up, but you go through a lot of highs and lows in life. You know, everyone always thinks that life's supposed to be like this, or you're always supposed to be happy, but it's not. It's not the truth. Life goes up and down, and he knows more than anybody else when I need someone to get me back in the right headspace. He's the first person I call.
Love that.
So he's installed a lot of self-worth, I would say, in me, but also, how to pick myself up off the ground and keep moving, which is huge.
All right.
Good.
Giselle from Venezuela. This is for
How'd that-
me and you, Chris.
That's me and you.
Yeah, it's for me and you. Happy Father's Day, you two. I'm Giselle, a new listener from Venezuela. What is a quality that we admire about them?
Oh, that's easy. It's easy.
All right.
They're big hearts. Both my kids, man, they got big hearts, bro. They're really good at being strong when they need to be strong, and they're really good at helping out people without being asked. You know what I mean, both of them. You know, I think that's one of the best qualities of both of them is they think of others before they think of themselves, and they're both a little OCD and like to clean and get shit done. You know what I mean? Like freaking, which they didn't get from me. They probably got that from their mom. So, but yeah, freaking. Both my kids have a big heart, man. Like both my kids are really good-hearted kids. You know.
All right, Ty. I would
Ty.
think there's two that I admire about you. One, and I actually always still geek out about this as a dad. I'll watch you hold the door for people. I'll watch people walk in and out of somewhere, and you're quick to, like, even at Lifetime, hold the door, say thank you.
Right. Those things are
Like,
important, right?
They're so important.
They're so important.
I watch you open the door for my wife when she gets in the side of the car.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff to me.
See, that's dude. Like, I was telling him on the way here, right? So some lady jumped on my social media today, and she was like, "Oh, look at him dropping the f-bombs because he's not intelligent. He's teaching his kids the wrong example. You know, these kids are gonna grow like talking all this shit, bro." I was like, "Wow, man!" I was like, "If you only knew,
Yeah.
if you'd actually see my kids in action, how they are just good people."
Yeah.
Like, you know, like me and you both have done a phenomenal, like, I don't mean, a phenomenal job being fathers. You know what I mean? So if we can, I don't know. I just think it's.
I don't let people. You know what?
Yeah.
And then my other thing I really admire about you is you've been through some shit, and for you to stand up not a couple years ago and say, hey, I need some help, and I need to come home. And
That's awesome.
That's
Huge.
That's huge.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
that's a
huge,
lot
man.
of bravery.
Heck
It's a
yeah.
lot of guts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of having to deal with that on your own. So I admire you having the courage to do that,
Yeah.
and to stand your ground when you need to. So those are the two for me. So.
True.
And by
Love
the way, I say fuck all the time, and my kid turned out good, so
Well,
yours. So you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you think that's the worst we could possibly do for our kids, like, you're sadly mistaken.
By the way,
We're doing a
that
lot
person
worse.
has no kids either, so
Yeah,
they're
right. That
probably
person
like,
has no kids. She has like 1,000 cats. You know.
all right,
guess I'm gonna say.
Connie, our notorious regular.
Connie's on here.
Connie is
Dang.
she did a good job. She kept it clean. By the way,
Thank
there's
you,
a
Connie.
bunch of people who forgot this was a Father's Day episode. So there's some really great questions for next week. But Connie came through. Avery, if you could have one special day with your dad this summer, what would you do? Like, what's one thing you're looking forward to doing with your dad this summer?
If I could have one special day with him, I would just let him choose what we would do.
See, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he literally thinks about other people before he thinks about himself. Like, most kids would be like, "Oh, well, I want to freaking do this." He's like, "Nah, Dad, you can pick. I'll do whatever you want to do."
All right, so Avery, if I
Like,
give
come
you
on.
all the money in the world, where would you take him if you could treat him to do something? Where would you want to take him that you think he'd want to go, or something he'd want to do? You think about that for me. I'll come back to you. Isaiah and Tyler. Isaiah, you can go first. What is one piece of advice your dad has given you above all right now that you remember?
Tyler's over there laughing.
Tyler, I can only imagine what Tyler's is.
He's like, "Pull out, bro.
Already
We're
got
got him." That's exactly what he's thinking, bro.
If it works, you know what I mean?
right?
Yeah.
I'm
I
sorry.
got my answer.
Oh, you got your
Oh,
answer?
shoot.
Let's hear it, bro. Let's hear it. Shoot.
So, if I could take him somewhere with all the money in the world,
Yep.
first, I'd buy him a mansion. Then, I'd ask him what he'd want to do for the whole day.
Okay.
Then, at the end of the day, I'd give him all the remaining money.
I like it. Where's
There's
it?
that.
See?
See?
See? Did you guys hear
I
that?
can't wait till he becomes famous and he
Right?
can buy you a
There's
mansion.
that.
Right? Did you hear that? Like, that's like, you know what I mean? Like, who says that? He's 10.
That's
I still
awesome.
got something to say.
Oh,
in
I'm
the
sorry.
You got more gifts, Chris. You know what I mean?
My bad. Take the show, kid.
So in the first question, everybody got to say what they wanted for their dads to do, except for me. I was
All
the
right, so
only
go
one.
ahead.
Go
I
ahead,
just
bud.
got left
Go
out.
ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What I want for you is happiness, rich, fame, popularity.
Wow,
Well, thank
that's
you.
a big
There.
stack.
That's a big stack, bro. High five all
I
that.
like it on there.
High five. How about we just get financially free so that we can just.
That's a
have
good
quality
one.
life.
Let's start
You know what I
there.
mean? Let's start there. Yeah.
All right, advice from you two. I could see. What do you have one off the top of your head? Oh, I thought you really did.
No, that was he was
Pull
right.
out? Okay.
Because I remember.
I was right, see?
I remember the couch talks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I remember this. The way my dad came to me with these conversations is the most abnormal thing I've ever had to do
It was
in my
awesome.
life.
It was awesome.
I was with two of my really, really good friends, are basically brothers. They lived at the house.
They lived
at
at my
time.
house
They
all the
lived
time.
at the house.
Okay.
He grabs us. We're like just downstairs playing, like probably Fortnite actually. We're downstairs. He goes, "Yo, come upstairs.
We gotta talk.
Right now, we gotta talk."
We gotta talk.
I thought like, I fucked up or something. I was like, what'd I do? I come upstairs, he goes, okay, guys, sit down. I gotta tell you something. Don't send dick pics. You don't know what kind of old people on the internet.
That was my first.
Solid advice, bro.
That was my first piece of advice.
Solid
I
advice.
pulled all the kids in and I said, you don't know who's it. You could be getting catfish. That thing's going to be on the internet forever. So every couple weeks, I would randomly pull them into a room and I would give them words of wisdom out of nowhere.
I love that.
And I walked in the room one day and I go, and they're all sitting away for this big speech. I go, don't send dick pics.
Yeah.
Left.
And,
That's
and
smart
this
advice.
walked out the room.
Yeah.
He just walked out the room.
So you would just go to wherever they were, just grab
Yeah.
them, bring them to
I
the
know,
room,
we were at
sit
the house,
down
we were at the
and
house.
No, they're at the
like-
house.
We're at the house.
But little nuggets of wisdom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The other one was
You just
so
sit them
funny.
down.
you don't
and then
always
tell
know if
them
it's a
the
she
words
on
of
the other
wisdom.
end. That was the conversation one time.
Wonder if she's a woman.
Wonder if
Yeah.
she's. You don't know if she's really a woman. So
That's so funny.
what about
What's
you,
yours, Ed?
Isaiah?
What's yours,
His
Isaiah?
is short and sweet. He just says, "Wrap it."
Yeah,
Yeah.
look,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's time.
I totally forgot went to college. So like, listen, man, wrap that thing.
Wrap
I
it
go,
up,
dude.
put
I was
two
like,
on.
dude, wrap it because they're gonna want to trap you. You got a lot of potential. They're gonna want to trap you. And I was like, and also, just you need to understand this. It's not just about you. It's also about me.
Yeah.
I'm too young to be a grandfather. Don't do that to me.
That's okay. We'll put a little baby carriage right here. Just
no,
reel 'em
You're
up.
not too young.
no,
You're
no.
never
He
too
still
young
says
for
that though.
I still say that. I still say
I'm
it
too
too
young
young.
to be a grandfather. You know what my response is? My response is, I beat you, so it's okay.
It'd be me.
Yeah.
You know what my response is? You can call me Uncle Chris. Nobody's called me Grandpa. That's so funny.
All right, so this is for me and you. When it comes to parenting, do you believe in just putting down the rules, or are you more of a gentle dad? So, and is that in whatever your style is? And I know it's a little different for you. Is it different than your dad was? Like your,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say for sure.
Yeah, mine's
right?
100% different than my father was.
Did you ever? I know this is a random question, but did you ever spank him?
No.
See, I haven't either. I never
No,
spanked you, right?
I never hit my kids.
You instead of spanking, you flicked me in the ear.
Oh, you used to flick him in the ear when I was
You used to
annoyed with
flick
him.
me. You used to
Yeah,
flick me.
I flick him in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You used to-
yeah.
I got that
I
too.
can flick really hard too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, his hands hurt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That,
Mhm.
no,
Yeah.
but what do
No,
you,
I never hit my kids.
What's your parenting style?
What was as a kid? What do you think my parents' style was?
I don't know.
Is it good?
I don't know.
It's a trick question. If you
Wait,
say
are
no,
you
you're
talking about
gonna
your
sign.
style?
No, just
We
kidding.
cut the podcast off
Are you
right
talking
here.
about your parenting style?
Yeah.
Where'd it go?
Yours.
Yeah, it's mine.
Your, okay, I thought you were saying your parents' parenting style.
No, my parenting style with you guys.
Your parenting style?
Yes.
10 out of 10, 20 out of 10. Oops, sorry.
It's okay. Sorry.
20
Hey,
out
we
of
got a
10.
little excited.
20 out of 10 if I'm being completely honest.
20 out of 10. You like my parenting
Amazing
style?
parenting.
Yeah.
You're an amazing parent in general. There's
They have to
nothing
say that because they're going home with me, right?
stopping-
I know. You bribed him before you
Someone
came.
help us, please. I'm blinking.
Was that
SOS blinking.
Yeah, what's that safe word freaking or some like signal that they give like freaking if like they're kidnapped? Like, help me.
Help me. No, my
fun.
dad.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
My dad had a temper. So, I mean, I've seen my dad go from 0 to 100 when I was a kid really quick. And I'm mindful of that. So when I get mad, I'm very mindful to take a breath because I've seen it. Now, my dad was great. I had a phenomenal childhood, so I would never say. I mean, he was wonderful. He was young, did everything he could. Him and my mom, but there was a fear of God. Now, I think, and you could attest to this, I put the fear of God in him as well, but it's not the same way to do it, right? It's like, I want to be there for you, and if you make a mistake, I will help you. But also, there's a line where if it becomes disrespectful or you're out of line, we're going to have a problem. And I just, so, and it never gets to that point. And you can already see me moving stuff around. I'm like, it don't get to that point. But, especially even when it comes to my wife or when it comes to other people, it's like there's a line of like how hard we work to provide you with the home and the house. So I expect the respect to be there.
I am.
So that part's fine. But I also want to be the dad where, and I really mean this when I say this, that if you're drunk and you're out and you have to make the decision of my dad's going to be mad or I can call him to come pick me up, I always want to be the friend that'll be like, oh, he'll come get me. It'll be good. Right? It's like I don't want to be so scary that your kid says, no, I can't call him. He's going to be so mad. So I hope I walk that fine line. I try to anyway. So my dad would murder me, and I've seen it happen before. So, but hopefully I don't do that. But you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I think that's kind of my style.
Your style, you like to do this thing where you immediately set. Anytime something new comes around, you like to set ground rules, which help me a lot because there's no period of figuring out what the rules are, if I should push these lines. My dad's real strict. He goes, yo, you're here at this time. You're here at this time unless you talk to me and I say differently. If not, there's going to be a problem. And which is amazing because it helps me.
We just did the curfew thing. I said, look, I'm going to make it easier because I'm tired of getting phone calls about time to come home. This is the time you come home on a weekday. This is the time you home on the weekend. I don't want a phone call about it ever. Now, if you need to stay out later, it's cool. Give me a call. Just let me know. But don't call me and be like, what time I got to be home? We know what time we got to be home. We're not stupid, right? But if you want to be out later, it's okay. I just need a heads up because it's scheduled. So,
How'd you think my parenting style was, Isaiah? Because it was a lot. So here's two sides of the stream here, right? Yeah. So remember what I said. I said I'm a different parent to Avery than I was Isaiah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm curious.
Yeah. I can swear on this.
Wait, hold on. Let's go back here. So let's say Avery gave me a 10 out of 10.
No, I gave you a 20 out of 10.
20 out of 10.
Avery's buying mansions.
Buying mansions,
going on
that.
trips.
So let's see how Isaiah feels about my parenting.
Don't fuck with dad.
Don't fuck with dad.
You said your dad put the fear of God in you. Yeah. I'll tell you what. When I was a kid, like my dad was 22, and if you know my dad, he has a temper. It's gotten a lot better.
Oh yeah, nobody knows that temper.
Yeah, well, back in the day.
I think that was just kind of what it was when you were a young dad. Like my dad was young.
I was under a lot of stress too. Yeah, me and his mom didn't get along right for the first 5 years. We didn't get along. And then I had like other issues I was dealing with. Yeah. And work and everything else. And not that I was making excuses, but I definitely was young and dumb and full of testosterone. freaking, raw, ready to go.
I want to say that like you were very hard on me. That is something
I was. I admit it. I was very hard on you.
And but as I've gotten older, you being hard on me formed me into the person I am today. And it's made me a better person. I wouldn't trade that because it turned me into more of, I don't know what the correct terminology would be, but a little bit harder of a shell when it comes to things in life. And it's something that as I progress through life, especially being in my mid-20s, it's really helped me out, not getting affected by everything. But outside of that, like, there was never a question of if my dad supported me. Both my parents always supported me no matter what I would do. If I wanted to be, I was in band for a little bit. I played soccer, baseball, football. I did it all. And no matter what it was, they always told me I had to finish it, which is something I will instill in my kids one day if I have them. You finish what you start. Yeah. And but they supported me. They always believed I could be the best at what I was doing, and that helped me out as I grew up. I went on to play football in college for a little bit. And it's instilled this sense of confidence in me, always knowing that my parents have my back and think I'll be great.
I was always the loudest dad in the audience. I was always the loudest dad.
Yeah.
I'd be like, they call his name, and I always sat in the front on purpose because I knew they call his name because he was that good. He's good at every sport he played. So they always called his name, and they call his name, and I stand up and I go, "That's my kid. Did you hear that? Yes. Number 36. It's my kid." You know what I mean? Freaking. Did you hear that? Yeah, always the loudest guy. I was always so proud. That was great.
All right, in this segment, this is called For the Kids. This is for you three. We'll
go
right
cool.
down.
I love this.
So we'll go this way, then we'll go back this way to make it easy.
guys better not skip me
All right.
again.
What do you think,
No, it's
Tyler? And it'd be interesting is that, it's by age. So, it would be interesting to see what you guys say. Tyler, what is the hardest part of growing up today?
I mean, it's probably just like, it probably hasn't changed that much, honestly. It's probably just like just there's so much ability for everyone to know everything. Like your life is projected to everyone. So you feel like if you make a mistake, it has a much larger impact than I think it would have in like your guys' day. Like if you fuck up now and someone records that, you're done.
Yeah.
You're really done.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
you really have to
no.
watch what you do now.
Yeah, no, there's a kid I can't tell how many times I tell these guys about, read these stories about kids who get a college scholarship to play football, and then they go back and find something they did at 14 on whatever, Facebook, Instagram, whatever they were on, and they pull their whole scholarship from them. And they'll be just singing a song and sing some lyrics, and they'll be like, oh, nope, 5 years ago, sorry, you can't be it was a quarterback at like USC or something, pulled his whole scholarship from him.
Wow.
Like, it's like, that's crazy to me. So,
Yeah.
Isaiah, what about you?
Yeah, kind of just building off of what he said. Honestly, I think it's social media. Because when I was a kid, there was Facebook, but like
No, when you were a kid, it was MySpace.
Yeah, there was MySpace, and then like the first cell phones
Wow.
came out.
What the heck is MySpace?
Yeah.
I know,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, even when I was a kid, social media wasn't that big of a thing. Like when I was a kid, you would be hanging out with your friends. You'd like post your meal on Instagram, and you'd post a stupid picture when you were in middle school. Like no one cared.
Yeah, nobody cared.
And so yeah, I think that's really the hardest thing is your dopamine levels. I think in our generation are shot because every 3 seconds you're seeing a new video, you're seeing someone else that already has what you want. You're seeing, if you're in a relationship, you're seeing unwillingly a girl that is probably more attractive than your girlfriend because everyone's a supermodel on Instagram, and it cooks
I'm
your.
not.
But no,
Not a supermodel.
I think social media has a lot of really negative impacts on our mental headspace in a young generation. And honestly, I think it'd be probably better if we didn't have it. It's something I kind of miss when you think about the old days. I wish I could, go do
No,
something
you're
and not
right.
have to worry about it.
No, you're right. I mean, it's got to be tough, right? Because like all the stupid stuff I did when I was a kid, nobody sees that
But
shit.
we always talk. If you're
Nobody
an
sees
adult,
that shit,
you get with
you know?
your friends, and we all say, "I'm so glad there wasn't cameras."
Oh
on
my
our
god!
phones
Yeah,
around.
no, if you can, all the dumb shit, I would have been arrested.
Oh, it'd be awful. So,
Terrible, man.
all right, what about you,
Terrible.
sir? On the end, what do you is the hardest part about being a kid?
Now, let's put this in perspective here.
So-
Real quick. Tyler's 17. Isaiah's going to be 26 at the end of the month. And Avery is 10.
He's lying to you.
yeah.
He's lying to you. I turned 21 this
Yeah.
month.
So that gives you the perspective of everybody's age that we're talking to. So that way you see the difference in generations here. And me and
Yeah.
Tony are only 25.
25. just learn it as we go.
All right, Avery, go ahead.
So I'm very young, and I'm already starting to get pimples. So
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing I have to say is pimples.
I agree.
hate having to deal with like my face, greasy hair, having to put on deodorant now.
No, getting over sucks.
Yeah,
Getting over sucks.
yeah,
When do you start having hair grow out of places you never had hair before?
yeah.
Like,
That
I
is
pulled one
very
off my
true.
ear the other day that was like a mile long, bro. I was like, where the hell did that come from? Yeah, just wait, bro. That's cool, though. I understand. Listen, growing up's tough.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
wish I was just like a 6-year-old again, so I didn't have to deal with all that stuff.
Don't we all wish we were 6?
Yeah,
Driving big wheels.
just a bunch of 6-year-olds at a podcast.
On a podcast.
Hello,
Oh, my God.
hello, I'm
You
a
you have to do that. You
6-year-old.
turn us all into babies. For sure. Yeah,
Oh, I-
you have to do that.
Just turn us all into babies for the podcast.
I'll turn them into adults, and I'll turn us into babies.
No, that's a great question. That's a great answer, Avery. That's a
All
great
right,
answer.
Avery, if you were the parent for a day and your dad was a kid, what rules would you make for him?
Ooh.
I think I just leave it the same rules.
Yeah?
as he always integrated.
You're-
I like the rules he has in Bound right now. I think he'd like the rules he has in Bound too.
Yeah, look
So
at
smart.
you.
So smart.
I got a good one.
Ooh.
Don't hang up on your dad.
Don't hang up on your dad. It's a good rule. It's a good rule. You know why?
He's bringing it back.
Yeah, right.
Bringing
Right.
it back.
To this day, he's gonna be 26. He's gonna be 26 at the end of this month. He still will not hang up the phone with me.
Yeah.
As you said it, my blood started boiling. I was like, hang up on me. I was like,
dude. So,
You want to hear the story? I haven't told you the story.
so
There's a
he
reason.
was Avery's age. He was like 10 or 11,
You know.
and he was at my mom's house. My mom and my dad is Oman Opa, and I was working. I was bartending, and I was working, obviously third shift. And they called me. They said, yeah, he's not listening. He's acting up. He's not listening. I said, put him on the phone. So he gets on the phone. And I'm like, yo, bro. I'm like, listen, that's my mom and dad. I was like, you respect my mom and dad. They're doing me a favor by watching you. I was like, don't be acting up, man. And he goes, I'm going to do whatever I want. Click. And I'm like,
Hangs up on you.
hung up on me. I'm like, what did he just do? The fuck did I freaking call back. I call back and my mom answers. She's like, you won't take the phone. I was like, you tell him I'll see him tomorrow morning at 8:00.
Oh,
So freaking so this is one thing I learned from so we were talking about parenting styles. The one thing I learned from my stepdad, who made the paddle for me, that was the Board of Education.
Yeah.
That they made for me at work. We had the $5 half-dollar holes in it and the pad on the handle and stuff. Is that knowing it's coming is worse than when it happens.
Oh yeah.
So my mom and dad telling him your dad's gonna be here at 8:00 in the morning. I knew he was gonna be up all night, freaking worried about it. So I showed up there bright and early, picked him up. Let's go. We get back to my house, dude, and there's a gallon of water and a shovel and a tape measure. And yeah, so what happened?
You ever see the movie Holes?
No, but this is good.
Yeah. Basically, what happened? He goes, you're gonna dig holes today.
I said hole. So I
Yeah.
said, listen, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna dig a 2 by 2 by 2 foot hole, 2 foot down, 2 foot long, 2 foot wide. That's what you're gonna do.
Not that bad.
It's doggies. It's not really that big.
Not that bad.
Yeah.
Not that bad,
Yeah.
right? And the backyard wasn't like it was like clay or rock or
Yeah,
whatever. You know what I mean? It was
yeah.
just regular dirt. So he's out there all day.
I was like 9,
Dude, it's like-
300 pounds.
It
I was
like-
a big boy.
He was 10. He was like, yeah, he was a big
Yeah.
kid. Freaking, and that was the other part. That was the other reason he was with me too, is because we needed to change his diet and get him in shape and whip him in shape. He was a spoiled little kid, and his mom spoiled the fuck out of him. I love his mom to death. She's a great mom, but she's fucking Italian. You know what I mean? So she just
Yeah.
fucking fed him and let him do whatever he wanted. Mom, but we don't do no wrong. Freaking so he was outside. Yeah, right. So he was outside for like 3 to 4 hours, dude. It's like August, and he comes in. He's dripping in sweat, dripping. And he's covered in dirt. He's like, I did it. I was like, all right, let's go out and check it, bro. So we took it outside. I took the tape measure and I measured it. 2 by 2 by 2. It's all right, good. That's excellent. I said, now fill the hole back up and put the grass on top. And he's like, what? I was like, if you ever hang up the phone to me again or talk to my parents that way again, this hole gets bigger every time.
That's a good one.
Oh, yeah. So to this day, he does not hang up the phone to me.
No.
I was afraid because my dad, and that was probably most people who listen to this at our age. My dad used to hit us with the belt.
Oh,
And
yeah,
he used
no,
to-
dude, yeah.
And they used to take it and fold it in half.
Fold it in half.
No,
Yep.
not the
Right?
bell.
Yeah, yeah.
And make
Not
that
the
noise as
bell.
you were going, and then you have to lay down over the lap, and it took time. And then when you laid over the lap, just bam, you'd get hit. Oh yeah, it was. But the as much as I remember it hurting, the whole process of being like, get the belt.
Oh, yeah.
The walk down the hall.
That's the worst
like
part.
All
Yeah.
that. Oh,
That's
it
always
was-
the worst part.
Yeah. What about you there, sir? Any rules or anything that you would?
Nah, you got pretty good rules.
I think I got good rules,
got
right?
good rules.
All right.
I mean, I'm my age, so I would love to change them, but
Oh, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
what kid wouldn't love to change the rules? So, all right, Tyler, and we'll go down this way. 17.
What's that?
So when your mom goes over to Isaiah and she's like, so your dad's coming at 8 a.m. tomorrow, Isaiah's.
Oh, yeah.
no.
That was it. Yeah.
Dude, I hid underneath the bed a couple times. Like, there was times I messed up, and like I would see his car. So his grandparents, well, my grandparents, his parents' house was an old farm, so it was a long driveway. There's a window that looked out towards the driveway, so I would sit there, and when I saw his car coming up, I would run and hide underneath the bed, and he'd walk in with this deep ass voice and be like, "I know you're in here.
Let's go.
Say, let's get out here." I'd be shaking.
I never really had to yell. You know what I mean? Forget it. Just me getting that different tone. That more stern tone with his voice. That was
Yeah.
nice, you know.
I don't know if I don't yell, right? I mean,
No.
I can get mad, but I don't yell.
you've never yelled at me, but I don't think I have given you like a real reason to yell at me.
Yeah, you're good. So, these are interesting. What is something you learned about yourself this year?
I mean, just I don't like staying inside as much. Like I just like being outside.
You're an outside kid for sure.
I sit at the skate park for 6 hours every day, and I just go, yeah, I want to be out here longer. And you're like, no, you gotta come home. We got school tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
That's a good thing to have, though. That's a good thing to be.
Yeah, my wife is always like, she's like, oh, we got to get him to do something different. I go, no, we don't. I'm like,
Nah,
he's
he's fine.
outside.
He's outside.
He's
Let him
not
go.
in the house, and he's great at what he does. So I'm like,
Yeah.
you just keep doing
Just in case
that.
you didn't know this, he's a skate pro.
Really?
like a Scooter Pro. Yeah,
Scooter Pro.
It's
Badass thing.
it's like I tell people all the time, and I mean this honestly. He sucks at a lot of things.
Yeah,
I'm not one of those
thanks.
guys. No,
Thank
no,
you.
I'm not one of
Yeah.
those dads who's like he's just good because he's great.
Yeah.
No.
Thank
But
you.
this, I'm
No,
like,
that's cool.
I look at it. It's like watching X Games on ESPN, doing flips and all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? So I'm like, you could spend as much time as you want doing that. Like,
Oh, dude, that is sick.
oh, he's awesome.
That's what
See, if I did that, my neck would be looking the opposite.
Oh yeah, that's
way
how
for
I feel.
sure.
Like, see, now you're getting
Yeah.
older. You know,
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
I can't do that anymore.
Like, where's Isaiah? You see me on the
Like,
ground,
yeah, to be
but-
no-
Like I'm older now. I can't do that shit.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
Nah, it's so
man.
funny.
Yeah, I respect
It's
it. That
so
stuff's
funny.
hard.
Oh, it's it,
fun.
and I was there when he got his first one, and had like 13. Was it 14, 13?
12.
Yeah, we're
12.
just pushing, just learning to
21.
push. I went with him thinking that I could do it. I bought a scooter. I spent
crazy.
bro. I spent $500.
thinking?
Scooter, helmet. This is like year one at an ESPN camp. I'm the only
It's
dad.
expensive.
I'm the only dad. Now, mind you,
Did you ever think there's a reason for that?
I'm all in, bro.
Did you ever you're like, huh?
I'm
there's
all
no
in.
other dads here
Now,
doing
I'm
this.
there.
I wonder why.
I'm all in. I'm
They don't
going
wanna
down
break their
ramps.
hip.
I'm trying to jump jumps. So then he gets into a half pipe, and I come down the half pipe. When I hit the bottom, this whole scooter flipped out, and I just fell back. And of course, I didn't have elbow pads on.
Smashed
and I
the shit out of it.
Smashed it, and everything became black. And for the rest of the week, I was
curled
head-
up in a ball like a little girl.
Done. Scooting around the park on one arm. Be like, hey, there's the dad. I'm good, thanks, man.
I know why there's not dads out here skating.
What about you? You're 25. You're going to be 26. What's something you learned about yourself this year?
That's a good question. I think one of the things I've learned more recently is, so I moved to Florida coming up on 2 years ago. And I think one of the biggest things I've learned is, so I grew up with a really close friend group. I've known the guys like more than half my life. And obviously my dad's up here. And really just making it a point to come and see the people that I grew up with, seeing my family, seeing my dad, seeing my grandmother, seeing him, seeing my good friends. This past week has really like recharged me and almost like kind of like a reset
Nice.
battery. So I think that's something that I've learned, I need to do. Because when I'm down in Florida, I've made a good group of friends. I have one of my good friends down there, and I have my mom. But like, it's different when you see everybody that you haven't seen in a while. So
Yeah.
just seeing my people, making it a point.
Nice. All
Love
right,
that.
sir. What about you? What is something for you that you've learned about yourself this year?
What I learned about myself this year
Mm-hmm.
is that I don't want to grow up anymore.
Yeah, that's a good
I
call.
always
It's a good
said
call.
when I was 8, I was like, I want to be an adult, and now I'm just thinking, I want to be young again. I don't like being old.
wanna be
I
young
don't want to
again.
be old.
You're
I just
not
wanna
old.
be
You're
young
10.
I know, but I have to do with deodorant, my face.
Oh,
I gotta
Yeah, it's
do
tough.
this new
Poor
tough
stuff.
age.
Poor
I don't
kids,
like
man.
it.
Doesn't
poor
get better.
kids. It's all right.
Well, it's funny. It's and this is really, and it goes back
So
to me and you
funny.
talk about with fitness. As long as you, and I mean this, as long as you stay in shape, every year has been a great year. I mean, I don't like getting older, but I actually do. I look at people our age, like in like high school reunions and stuff, and I realize why people are getting older, but I just don't feel older.
No. I realize, and it's no offense to anybody inside,
I know, I get it. You know, what I mean?
if we can, we're killing it right now.
But all right.
Sorry.
So we'll go back one more question. We'll start here, and then what we'll do is we'll have time to wrap up. You guys are going to ask us questions, and then we'll be able to wrap the show up.
You
So
want to ask some questions?
yeah, so we got one more. We'll go back this way.
All right.
What is something that makes you feel proud of yourself?
When I do something nice for others, or somebody congratulates me on something.
Nice. All right.
Love that.
What about you, sir? What is something at this age that makes you feel proud of yourself?
I think kind of just build off what I just said is as you get older and you start, and I know you said you had a good group of friends, so you'll experience this. Everyone kind of disperses as you get older. People go to college, people get girlfriends. One of my best friend, he just got engaged. Shout out to them, congratulations. But people start going their own ways in life, and I think I do a pretty decent job of keeping my connections with these people, making sure I call them, text them, everything like that. Because if you don't, the connections do fade ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, but not only me, my friends do a good job of it as well. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only.
Connections are real, bro.
I don't want to say the only, but it's the one as older people who didn't have social media, and as much as it is as crazy, I say it all the time. it is the number one thing that comes out of it that's unbelievable for your guys' age is you will be able to keep connections that we just could never keep.
Yeah, no, because we moved, right?
Because we moved, or to your point.
Yeah.
And what I would tell you is, and I think about this sometimes, I remember being in high school and crying to a Boys to Men song, End of the Road, because I felt like all my best friends, I was like, I'm never going to see them again. And then you get to
so corny.
And then you get to college, and you make all new friends, and then all of a sudden, to your point, some get married, they get engaged, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, but this is my good group of friends, and then they disperse, and it breaks your heart a little bit each time. But as you get older, you just realize it is great to keep those connections, and it's so random how you run into people later. But life is interesting in that it just serves you a new group of friends that are just for where you're at. Mm-hmm. But every time
That's
I've lost
true,
people,
right?
I've always
That's true.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing how the universe, God, whatever you call it, puts people in the right life at the right time.
Yeah, look at us.
Look at us. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right? Look at us. We get at the right time. Here we are doing this podcast. Yeah, that's amazing.
People always swear we've known each other forever.
I know, I love that.
And we're-
It's because like my brother from another mother. Like literally, like
Every day we do a podcast, we learn something new. I'm like, God of War. My God of War is the shit. That's the shit. He knows I'm
You
all
guys
over
seem
it.
like
I'm
you're
waiting for it to
just
come out. I don't know if it's gonna be
generally
Egypt. Or it might come out this year, but now it's gonna come out next year.
So funny.
I'm all over it.
it's so funny.
All right, I'll give you guys a rapid fire, and then we're gonna need you guys to ask us your questions about us. So I'm gonna go right down. You got to answer the first thing that comes to your head. You want to start?
No.
Yes, you're gonna start.
Yeah, you gotta
Rapid fire. Ready?
All right, you're gonna start and just say it.
First
and then,
thing.
and then we'll go this way. Ready? And then when I stop, we'll go back this way.
Oh, no repercussions.
No, they're simple questions.
Oh, we're all
Simple-
judging.
No, they're simple questions.
Everybody's judging.
Ready?
No.
No, just kidding. Nobody's judging. Ready?
What
Go.
time do you like to wake up?
About 9 a.m.
Probably 8, but more realistically, probably like 10. Yeah. We're gonna be honest about it. Like,
Oh, noon.
Do you like to text or call?
Oh, I call.
call for sure.
Call.
Okay. What's the best snack of all time?
Kit Kat. Wait, no, Twix. Twix.
Reese's peanut butter cups for sure.
Chocolate chip muffin from Wawa.
One word to describe girls.
Annoying.
Crazy.
Greedy.
What's your favorite superhero?
I don't have a favorite.
Batman.
Batman.
Ah.
Nice. Good stuff.
It's that.
Love that.
What's
Yeah.
one thing you're afraid of?
My dad.
Heights.
Oh,
Heights.
heights kill me.
Yeah.
The dark.
Would you
That's
rather
what
be
I guess.
rich or would you rather be happy?
Well, if you're rich, you can also be happy.
Good call.
I would say I value experiences, friends, family, stuff like that. So happy over money any day of the week.
Happy.
Yeah.
Last one. How many push-ups can you do?
Money.
Right now, probably if I really tried 50.
I'd say 100. Yeah.
In a row?
Yeah.
I don't know if you could do 50 in a row. I was like, so 100, that's even a bigger one.
You can be happy and have money at the same time.
It doesn't matter how many push-ups you can do.
I love how he's still stuck in this. It's like, wait a minute. It's
Wait,
like,
hold on.
I don't have to pick.
He's like-
I can have both.
That's the beautiful part about being 10. You're like, why I gotta pick?
He's mad
How
no one
many
else picks
my
money.
Can I
God.
How many push-ups?
How many
can
push-ups?
Yeah, how many
can you
push-ups
do?
you do?
Like 15 on average.
That's
Yeah,
good.
it's true. It's true.
All right.
Let's go for your age.
Well, it's
good.
good.
I
It's
don't know.
really
What
good.
I have no idea what the answer is. I couldn't tell you.
What,
Unless-
push-ups?
Yeah. I couldn't do many.
I can do 50. I
Uh,
mean, maybe more if I had to.
all
That's a
right.
lot.
Yeah.
So now what we'll do is you guys can ask us your questions for us since we got about 15 minutes left. And then at the end, we can wrap up whatever you guys want to wrap up with. So you guys are supposed to think of questions for us. Do you want to go first?
I do have a question off the top of my mind that I just thought about not too long ago.
Shoot.
So, what is your least favorite thing about us? Your guys'
Oh,
No, I kind of like
Least
this.
I
like
kinda
this question.
Yeah, yeah.
This is,
Least
this is
favorite.
easy.
Wow.
I know it's easy for you.
What is it?
I mean, doesn't live in this state.
Oh, yeah, I was just.
That's a,
No,
that's a terrible
no,
answer.
no. Listen, I was honest to God's truth. You know what my answer is going to be? Is that you guys don't live with me. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. It's the
I
biggest thing I don't
agree.
like. I wish you guys
I
lived with me
agree.
and I got to see you guys all the time. You know what I mean? That's my biggest thing. Like I'm loving the fact that you're with me all summer, and I'm loving the fact that
Yeah,
you're here
I'm
now.
gonna be living
but
with
I
you
would
all
I would
summer.
love you guys who were around 24/7.
What's
you know
our
what I mean?
least
Yeah, true.
favorite thing? Do you want? I don't have. See, it's interesting because you don't have. There's no such thing as a least favorite.
What's the
thing.
most annoying part about me?
Oh, easy. You think it's okay to eat fucking food in your room, and then my mom is our cleaner, and she came over. By the way, my mom owns a cleaning business, so she cleans my house. So every time I'm home, my mom comes down and looks at me like a bad parent. Today she did it. She comes downstairs. This is what my mom does. She goes, obviously you know my mom now. She goes, "Where's your protein bars?" I go, "Oh, she wanted one." I go, "They're in the cabinet." She goes, "What kind of protein bars you got?" I go, "Chocolate chip cookie. I don't know, whatever's up in there. Just take one." "How many is in there?" "I don't know how many's in there, Mom. Just take it." "You know why you don't have any in there?" And then she pulls a handful out and she puts them on my desk. Goes, "Because your son's got them under his bed." Won't you be?
Fuck, you hiding protein bars in your bed for?
Okay, I put them in my backpack and I never eat them because I'm thinking I'm gonna be hungry that day. No, here. Let me.
Okay, so you
I
want to
think
know?
I'm gonna be hungry that day, right? I get to lunch, I'm good, and I'm like, I never eat it, so they just sit there, and then I'll
so
empty my bag, and then they go everywhere.
This is the truth.
If you don't eat them, then why do you put them in your bag?
Because I think I'm gonna eat them.
That's from a
And then you
10-year-old.
don't.
No,
From
it's
a 10-year-old.
delusional. I get it.
He's like, I'm gonna take these so nobody else can have these, and I'm not gonna eat them.
My
Yeah,
mom-
basically.
Every time my mom
That's
comes
basically.
to, I know it sounds
Right.
weird to the audience,
Every
and my mom
time.
cleans my home. My mom owns a cleaning business, so if I'm going to give money to someone to clean my house, I must keep it in the family.
Makes sense.
And I don't have to
Sweet
hide
boy.
anything. I don't got to lock anything up. But every time she comes over, she goes in your room and she cleans, and she comes down to find me, and she finds some kind of food somewhere. So that's my
See?
only.
That's funny.
And you
so
did it
funny.
the other day. You took a box of cookies and walked right by me like it was nothing. I go, "Bro, where you going with the cookies?" You go, "Oh, I was putting them on the counter."
I was bringing them in. My friends left.
I'm excited they're
All
telling.
right.
You want to hear a funny? You want to hear a funny food story?
Little defensive there, bro.
So when I used to live with him when I was a kid, this dude has to eat, like, his metabolism's super high,
Yeah.
so he has to eat tons of food all the time. So he used to get boxes of Tasty Cakes.
Oh yeah.
And
Boxes of
I
them,
was probably 11, 12 years old,
Candy
little tubby
cakes.
kid. I used to roll around, and he would eat them in front of me, and I'm like, "Can I have one?" He's like, "No, no, would never let me have me. Just sit there and eat a whole box of Tasty Cakes
Ate
in
the whole
front of
fucking
me.
box.
Yeah, he's
Whole
break
fucking
my
box.
little fat dreams.
And you just.
Well, he had to eat. He had to eat. Dude, he had a 36-inch waist and he was like 10.
Yeah, I was a big boy.
He was a big boy, bro.
Yeah, I was hefty.
Man.
You're
Yeah, I was
just-
just looking out for him. I didn't want to have diabetes by the time he was 13. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we're looking out for you.
Just staring at Dad,
See?
just
I know,
watching
I
him
was terrible. I
eat
was
'em.
terrible.
That
Didn't
was
get
a
Halloween
great-
candy.
That was a
you
great
know.
question on your part.
That was a good question,
was a
bro.
really good
That was a
question,
good
dude.
question. All right, who's next?
All right, you're up.
Were you asking questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, hold on. Let me pull out my notes.
He's got-
All
Oh,
right.
Jesus.
I wrote
Ty,
some stuff
any-
down.
came
No, it's
up with
good.
a
I got
bunch
off
of
top of
questions.
mine.
Okay.
We came up with a bunch of questions.
All right,
last
Ty, what's
night.
your question?
What were you really like in my age?
It's 17.
He was black.
I was. Yeah.
No.
Crazy.
Genuinely curious.
I really didn't come into my. I had played sports, so I was a varsity baseball player, ran track, so I had a little like sports wise I was good, so I had friends, but I wouldn't say I was that. I wouldn't say I was super confident. I just had my sports friends and kind of kept to myself. My brother was a year younger, so I kind of rolled in that like sports crew. I didn't really come out of my own until freshman year of college, and then I was like, I gained a lot of confidence, and then I remember going back to high school and being like, fuck all of you. I did because I was like, because it was so cliquey. Like high school got so cliquey to me, but I was good because me and my brother were good kids because I was afraid of my dad. So but I probably would tell you I'm just like you except much cleaner. That's probably I don't mean that in a knock. My parents would murder me for that kind of stuff. So, but no, I was a little bit more quiet than you. I was probably actually the same, quiet than you. Group of friends who just played sports. I don't think we're that much different actually.
Nice.
What about you there? So you got to look at the notes.
I know I got the notes. Hold on, Abe. Hold on. I'll give it to you.
I want to say the first one.
So I want to say, what would be the biggest lesson you both learned from being a father? Like from like prior of not being a father to then being a father, what do you think the biggest thing you've learned is?
That's easy for me because and if I say it, I think you probably, and I think it'll be something. Even if it wasn't yours, you would agree completely, because we were dads without you guys. In other words, like it was very difficult because I didn't have you all the time. So you're trying to be a dad, and I don't have a lot of time to impart anything on you, and I only have 4 days a month, and so those times were so important to me. But I learned, as mad as I could have been, or as frustrated as I could have been, the only thing that was important was Tyler. So the time I spent with him, making sure everything was positive, always doing something together, whether it was cooking, cleaning. I live by this rule. I don't talk bad about anybody in the family. It's as long as he's loved, we're good. But I definitely, as a becoming a dad, way more responsible, taught me what was important, and it really taught me how much I really appreciated being a dad. Because when you're a dad for 2 days and then someone takes your kid away, it just devastates you. Mm-hmm. And then you get a chance. So when I hear these stories about these guys who aren't in their kids' lives, I don't get it.
Mind-boggling.
It's mind-boggling to me. But I would tell you that being a dad changed me a million times for the better. I'm a much better human being because of Tyler, for a million reasons. So yeah, it changed me whole completely.
Yeah, I think for me, because I did have a temper, and I was I would do things and not think, react to life. I think the biggest thing that I learned being a parent is to control the things I can take control of, right, and not focus on the things I can't control. And the things that I can control, just be fucking amazing at it, right? So that way I get so fucking good at what I'm doing that there's no excuse for my kids to never see me or spend time with me, right? That it doesn't matter. And then the other thing I did too is, and I learned this with Isaiah, that I did with Avery, was that I learned that making those memories, that time, and not just making it fun, right? But making it educational and memorable, right? Because the things that will carry with him, and I think this is one of the reasons Avery's so smart, is and I put knowledge first. I take my time to educate them because that knowledge will stick with them forever, right? And when they have their kids of their own, and they'll sit there with them, and they'll look down and be like, and they'll do something that'll remind them of what I did for them, and they'll be like, oh, my dad used to do this. You know what I mean? So I think biggest thing I learned was control, over my emotions, and to focus my energy on the things that I can control, and make sure that my life is perfectly set. That when the time is right for them to be here and be with me, they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good answers from the both of you guys.
Thank you. You're not bad. Not bad. I prepared.
I
wrote down
my answers right here. You didn't say it. I was like,
Okay.
All right. Go ahead. Your
So
turn.
next we have number 11 on the list. Yeah, we have a total of 12 questions.
Okay.
A skill or hobby that you guys wish you had.
A skill or hobby. I wish I could sing
and I wish I could play the guitar.
and piano. Yeah, I wish I could sing and play the piano.
I would say
Yeah.
sing in a million years would be the number one. If I could learn it, I don't think I can. But guitar, I have 3 guitars at the house, and I try for I told you, I'll go for 2-3 months. I'll start,
Yeah.
and then I don't do it. But nothing would make me happier at a party to break out a guitar and be able to at least play 5 songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just.
No,
I agree.
It's crazy you say it because I agree. Like looking back, I played sports my whole life,
Yeah.
and that's one thing I wish I went back and I did. Me and him, we kind of have the same music taste, that
Yeah.
90s, 2000s, more
Yeah.
rock type music.
Yeah.
And I always wish I could do that, but I can't.
Yeah.
So I would definitely.
We put him in
do
music.
that.
He was playing drums. I would have put him in piano or something.
It's such a great. Whenever I'm at a party and all of a sudden someone comes up and they just sit at the piano, and you're like, "Oh, you can play?" It is awesome. It's
right?
awesome. Yeah. Anything off the top of your dome there, sir?
Anything?
I mean, why'd you start lifting? Why'd you guys get into fitness?
Oh, that's easy. We grew up at a time that we were men. Everybody worked out. Everybody on TV, everybody on the movies. What got me was don't do that. What got me was
Sorry.
It's okay. What got me was I had a kid, this kid Nick Heck, that was older than me, and I worked on a farm, so I did farm work, so I was strong, but he was stronger, right? He worked out with weights, he was stronger, and he would pick on me in the bus and stuff, and so I wasn't gonna let him beat me anymore. If he So I went and bought my first weight set for $25 at a yard sale. This guy was selling his weight. It was the old plastic cement ones.
Yeah.
And I bought that for $25. The guy wanted 100 for it. I said I got 25, and it was my own money. I made landscaping at 13, and I started working out. And the more I worked out, the more in shape I got quick. And then girls liked the way I looked.
Oh no.
And that was a wrap. That was a wrap, man. The moment the girls were like, "Look at those veins, look at those arms, look at those abs," I was like, we're gonna keep doing this. Yeah.
I lifted when we went to high school. People lifted, but not a lot. Like you did, and you kind of went to the gym. I'll never forget freshman year. They had a fitness competition to be all the fraternities had this, and I was part of a fraternity, but like there were a bunch of like stoners or whatever. And I was in the gym. And the kids in the cool fraternity were talking about how they were going to win and whatever. And I was just in there. And I knew that my fraternity was asking me to sign up. Mm-hmm. And I worked out. I ran, but I didn't like work out. And this kid looked at me and was like, "You don't have a chance in hell." And he's like, "You're just not good enough to win." And bro.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Bro, I worked out twice a day for probably 4 months. To the point where I crushed everyone, and then what happened was a little bit like right after that, I won Mr. Delaware, and then I went on a run, and then I was like,
somebody just said Mr. Delaware.
Yeah, and that's what happened. But that's what, and then Cosmo, like once I got into shape and I realized like what came with it, I was done. But that kid, to this day, when
I did an Ironman. We had a competition, and in school, I went to private school, but we had our we had Olympic days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there was like a 3-day thing up in the Poconos. And it was a big Olympic thing, and everybody had different stuff, choir, music, fucking, acting, whatever. And you had to prepare for, half the year to go do this thing. And I did the Ironman, dude. I was in insane shape. I would do 200 full sit-ups with a 45-pound weight on my chest. I was doing 25 to 30 pull-ups with a 45-pound weight tied around my waist. I was in sick shape, bro. I won. I freaking got it. I was like, yeah, I jumped everybody out of the water. Push-ups, no problem. I was crazy. I was crazy. I'm still crazy.
Yeah, people. In other words, people pissed us off, and and we wind up in the gym.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest. There's moments in your life, right, where you can make a decision, and this goes back to men's mental health, right? That you have to make a decision what type of man you want to be. You know what I mean? Do you want to be that one that lets life pass you by? That beats you down, that you question everything you do, or do you want to go out there and prove yourself to your not for other people, but for yourself? You know what I mean? Because let's just go back to that. Like you wanted to prove something, but it wasn't about proving them wrong. It was about proving that you could fucking do this, right? So I think that's the difference between really good, strong male figures and the ones that aren't, right? So I think you having that drive and that competition in yourself to prove yourself is a good thing to have. Yes, Avery.
Word of wisdom, some of the worst people in your life can say stuff to you that can shape your life for the better if you do the opposite of what they say.
Yeah.
Very poignant. I like that.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Words of wisdom.
So as we bring this to an end, and for our first ever Father's Day episode, so just so you guys know, please put on your calendars next year. You'll have to come back because it'll be our
tradition.
Be like our 70th episode by then or whatever. Hopefully we'll be rich and happy by then.
Hopefully.
But let's do this to end it. What I like to do is we'll go right around the room. We'll start with you. We'll go this way. Your dad always ends the episode, but if you want to say anything about your dad,
I'm gonna ask a question real quick.
Go ahead.
Just real quick. I feel the show here real quick. I just want to ask a question. So it is Men's Mental Health Month, right?
Yeah.
So what, as you 3 generations, what does that mean to you? What does men's mental health mean to you?
Who's starting?
Whoever.
Go ahead. You go.
I
start. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Start.
So a men's mental health should always be, don't get with women. Leave women out of your life. They're too greedy. Never get married. Never make the mistake.
I love how this generational thing is going. All right, so 10 says don't get married.
Don't get married.
And always do the opposite of what the worst person in your life tells you to do.
True.
Unless it's a good thing, then you do that good thing.
Okay.
You got it.
I love that, Avery. Good choice, man.
Good choice.
Nice.
Spot on.
Nice.
Totally good.
Sir, for you, what does men's mental health mean to you?
I think, first of all, this year, at least on social media wise, there's been a lot more light shed on men's mental health. So, you know,
I think this year's been actually pretty good.
I think it's been really
Yeah,
great. It's been awesome to see it because, you know, a lot of the times more recently, the past couple of years, men kind of get shit on social media. You know, you get icks about this, or if a guy does this, or if a guy wears this, or whatever it is, if you post like this, you know, a lot of women tend to shit on guys for a lot of things that they shouldn't shit on guys for.
Well,
you know?
isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy how like if you see a woman out there being what they call a boss bitch, you know, showing her thing, showing her makeup, everybody's so supportive of it, right? But the moment you see a guy out there just being happy and being positive, people are so pissed off. It's so bad.
And to be honest with you, I'm not saying this to shit on women by any means. I've met a lot of great women, but I think with all this stuff on social media, what happens is that, you know, guys compress their emotions more than they ever had. Mm-hmm. You know, I think guys are scared to put themselves out there, scared to approach women in any aspect. You know, at least I've seen a lot of stuff in the gym where girls get upset with they're recording and a guy walks by.
100%. We talk about that all the time. We talk about how freaking that, you know, talking to women in the gym is not the
no-go.
It's a no-go. You know?
But I think men's mental health is very important. I think with the social media thing and everything, I kind of just explained that a lot of guys suppress stuff down, aren't okay with talking about how they feel, the way they feel. I feel like a lot of guys feel like they can't cry nowadays, which is something he's talked to me about. We're very manly men, but me and him have cried over a lot of movies together.
Endgame.
Yeah, Endgame. But I just feel like guys can't express their emotions. So I think it's awesome. A lot of light's been shed to it this year. I think it's amazing. I think that, you know, I think anybody, guy or female, if you're going through anything, you know, talk to somebody. You know?
Yeah.
You never should be scared to tell somebody how you feel.
I think something that there's well, I'll let you go. Go ahead, finish. I suppose.
You sure you can go?
No. I'm gonna put it. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, to me, Men's Mental Health Month is just mainly, especially like around my age, guys and people I talk to every now and then. Like, a lot of people are scared to express themselves and how they feel and the way they think inside their heads. Like, these kind of emotions, these kind of like bad thoughts, where people thinking about taking lives and things like
hurting
that.
Themselves, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, hurting themselves. It's terrible, and people, when they keep those kind of thoughts inside, they'll just pile up.
Yeah.
When we really need to, as men and as females, everyone really just need to talk about it and need to understand that everyone's going through something.
Yeah.
And if we're more open as just people, then less people will be less people hurt themselves, less people do bad things to themselves.
Less people feel alone.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it's all
That's
about,
true.
right? Sure, right? That's what it's all about, right?
Females and men should be treated equally and not be treated like they're different people. Girls should treat men well. Men should treat women well. It should all just be happy.
I agree.
Happiness.
Yeah, I agree.
Look at
Men should actually be allowed to express their feelings without getting bullied for it.
Yeah, look, the
love
pendulum swings. So
Right.
what I would tell you guys is that this is what happens. You know, the pendulum swings one way too far, and then it starts to come back. But the thing that will be helpful, and the thing that you guys can do, and people that listen can do, and I know I do, and I know your dad does. We're not and we do this in our friend group. I'm not when we leave the podcast. Sometimes I say goodbye to your dad and tell him I love him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Because that's just how I feel about him, right? Like you can be the guy who says, "Hey, if you need help, I'm there for you." Even if you don't want to call me, you can be the friend that starts that for your friends. But absolutely, what you said is 100% right. You're not alone. You should find someone to talk to, and there are really a lot of great men now to talk to about it. People do obviously, and we know this, bury things too deep, and they feel like they're alone when they're not. But there's a lot of really good people out in the world, and I think the other part of it is when you get these people who want to shut you down or want to say something bad about you or want to make you want to cry and someone says, the best thing you could do is the reality of it is they're in the minority. They're just the loudest. Yeah. And I think the reality is there's a lot of good men. There's a lot of good people out there. They just need good people to stand up and be louder. Yeah. And I'm glad this is what this podcast does.
Yeah. No, we're a huge voice, bro. You know what I mean? We got a huge voice. I get messages all the time, every day. I just showed Isaiah one here. I got an email. People telling me how just these positive messages that we're putting out is really changing their lives, and they really need it.
Yeah,
you know, they need it. So what I would like to say, just to put a little thing on it, is give a man a hug.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give a man a hug.
Yeah.
Just randomly give your brother, your son, your husband, your friend, give them a hug. Because I guarantee you, especially if it's a single man, they haven't been hugged in a long time.
Yeah. And to build on that, I'll be vulnerable and talk about this. I went through a lot of hard stuff in college. My dad came up for his birthday in August, so right at the start of the semester, and it was unprompted. It was just him and a friend of his came up at the time, and we hung out. And he walked out with me to the car, and he just gave me a hug, told me he loved me, and I just started crying. You know, and it's the truth. You know,
Yeah.
tell people you love them,
Yeah.
and give them a hug. And
Give 'em a hug.
tell them it's going to be okay. You
Yeah.
know, male or female. You know, tomorrow
Yeah.
needs you, which is a
Yeah.
great saying. Which I
love
really
that.
like.
Tomorrow needs you. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that.
That's a great saying.
Right?
Is it okay if I add on to what
Well,
Tony said?
You're
Sure.
gonna bring it home, so you're
Yeah,
up. You're
bring it
bringing
home,
it
bro.
home.
This
So
is it.
we're going right around the room.
Nope.
Yeah. You bring it in.
Nobody's ever truly alone. If
No.
if you have somebody you need to talk to, you can talk to them. If something's going on, if you don't know if something's going on for somebody wrong, if somebody seems sad, give them a hug. Do what you need for them. Nobody's ever truly alone.
Right on, son.
All right.
I love that.
All
Good
right.
saying, dude. I love
Sir,
that.
after you. Closing message.
Close your
What do you
message.
want
What
to
do you
wrap it up?
got? What do you want to say?
First of all,
Wrap it up.
happy Father's Day. To
Thank
both
you,
of
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy Father's Day, and
Thank you.
thank you for having us on. This is a blast.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Good fucking time, right?
Yeah, it was a great time. It was a great time, and I want to say very proud of the both of you. You know, I know my dad talked about doing this a lot for a long time. Obviously, told me about you as well and everything, and I've watched them. You know, I've listened to them on Spotify, and I've watched them on live and stuff like that. So just being here, being a part of it,
And the cool shit?
yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool.
Not only that, what building are we in?
Yeah,
The one with TV show?
We're in the if anyone's listening, the Severance show, the Lumen headquarters. This is where
Yeah.
we're at.
We're in the
We pulled
Lumen. We're in the Lumen headquarters.
Yeah,
right now.
we pulled into the parking lot. He's like, "Wait till you see this building," and I see the water tower, and I was like, "I've seen that before."
Yeah, yeah.
And then we pulled up, and I was like, "No fucking way, man! This is cool." I walked in, I was like a little kid taking pictures, everything.
Yeah,
It was,
that was
it
great.
was badass. But yeah, just thank you guys for having us on, and happy Father's Day.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
Yay!
What up?
Happy Father's Day, obviously. I love you guys, especially you, Chris. You just started coming around, but you're pretty fun. You
Not
know,
bad for
you're a
not,
nice
not
guy.
bad for an old guy, bro. Not bad for an old dude.
Alright,
Not
alright.
bad for
Alright.
a guy who just
Nah, but-
appeared.
Disappeared.
No, but I just want to say, like, I've been coming to these episodes. I know if you guys have been hearing, I just kind of sit in the back of my computer, you know, check some answers, do all
You're a
that kind
Gen
of
Z
stuff.
fact checker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
you're
I
a
just
fact
sit back
checker,
there,
bro.
do my thing. But, I mean, all this has been such a big change. I mean, in my dad's mental and, like, how I've seen him at the house, and especially, like, now that Chris is around all the time. I mean, it's been a great time. We've had a bunch of fun doing it.
Right.
And it's nice being in front of the camera, you know, for the first time. I've been behind it for a while.
Hey,
Yeah.
you play your part. You're a vital role, man.
That's
Yeah,
it.
better roll, bro.
Sometimes you
Sometimes-
you play the sometimes you play the tramborine.
Sometimes
the
I just
tambourine.
play the horse battle.
Yeah. So look, first off, shout out to you guys for thanks for going. I'm sure actually it was really nice for us to get a break from answering crazy questions.
Right? Yeah, it was nice actually do something with substance. You know what I mean?
But
Yeah, it was
on
pretty
two
cool.
fronts, first off, you know, it's a great episode because if you're listening and you're a woman out there, hopefully this gave you a little bit of insight into how we think as men and how we think as dads. So I think hopefully that'll be helpful in your own relationship. If you're a guy out there and you're listening, you know, to Avery said it, you're not alone.
Nope.
You know, I can tell you you're not alone. I can tell you that when I go up to a friend for the first time and I gave him a hug and said I love you, you know how fast they turn around and go, hey, love you too. And my friend circle has been great with it, but it just takes one person to start it.
Yeah.
Right. And then you realize that, oh, we can have that kind of relationship. So you know, I hope everyone takes something out of this episode. To you three, you know, you guys will never understand. I mean, me and your dad are so much alike, but the three of you, we mean this from by my heart. You guys have shaped us into really being the people we are. You know what I mean? So I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I love you guys. And
Starting to cry.
Tony's crying.
Yeah, I'm starting to cry.
It's so
No,
great.
but it's-
It's great. I
Starting
love
to
it.
cry.
I wouldn't be the
That's
person I
great.
was if it wasn't for
Starting
that.
to
So
cry.
I love it.
and
I love it, bro.
You know how much I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate you.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, look,
Everybody's
he's been
starting to
tearing up this
cry
whole
now.
time.
I've been tearing up this whole time.
The
bro.
adults are starting to
So,
cry now.
That's because it's important to us. You know what I mean? You guys
It
are very
is.
important.
You
to
guys,
us.
you guys
I
know,
agree.
but you'll never really know
Yeah.
how important you guys are to us.
True.
So
Yeah, no, I
I
appreciate
mean,
that,
I
man.
think we get kids,
yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
when you get kids, you
understand it.
understand. You get kids,
Yeah.
you understand, man.
Well, look from the
Yeah.
from the other side of the spectrum, I can speak for all of us. You know, we love you guys, and we wouldn't be the kids that we are today without the both of you.
Thank you. Appreciate that,
you know,
man.
That's true.
All right, Dad.
Yeah.
Trying to make us all cry, bro. All
Yeah.
I like you a little bit.
All right, bring us
Love
home,
it.
pops.
right.
Oh, it's still working.
Well, that was amazing. That was an amazing episode.
Amazing.
Right? That was an amazing episode. I have to
Everyone's
say that was
crying.
probably my favorite episode ever.
Yeah.
Right? That was
Yeah.
amazing.
That's amazing.
You got me crying, Tony. Fuck, man. Listen, I love you guys. Couldn't be more happy than you guys were here. You know, I mean, this is what we were working for, right? This is what we were working towards. We would make a difference. You know what I mean? And fuck.
You want me to come around and give you a hug? Come around
No,
and
no,
give you a
you're
hug.
good, bro. You're good.
Seeing you tear up is gonna
Yeah.
make me tear up, dude.
No, this is cool, man. Because listen, this is what it's all about, right? We're here to make a difference. We're here for mental health, you know, like I said, and this is real. This is unfiltered, right here. This is real. This is raw. This is who we are, as parents, as fathers, as men. Thank you guys for being a part of the show. We appreciate it, man. We hope to have more success.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everything else. As always, man, listen, we thank you. We thank you for the support. We thank you for the love. We thank you for watching. We hope you guys check this episode out. Again, man, listen, it is simple to make a difference. I do it every day. I say there's good morning videos, and it's amazing to me how many people reach out to me and say just me having that positive energy to them has helped them get through their day, right? So give a smile, give a hug, take the extra time to be generous and kind and nice. And literally that butterfly effect is real, right? So that energy you give off of being positive, being a good person, will carry on to the next person, to the next person, to the next person, to the next person. So be that change, be that difference, be that person. You know what I mean? As always, man, we believe in you. We believe in the best in you. Fuck. Episode 19.
I want to come around and give you a hug.
Well, you can
1
now
minute.
because you know
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Advice Unfiltered, everybody. Episode 19. We were Chris and
Advice
Tony,
Unfiltered.
Avery, Isaiah, and Tyler. We're out.
All right. Great episode.
Great episode, guys.